Let's talk about Memphis.
Oh, no.
That is absolutely the worst. University of Memphis. We decided to go there. We didn't know what to expect. We had no idea because it's a smaller school, but they had been doing great things lately, and we wanted to check it out.
We're on the plane, and we go to Houston, and there we link up with some of our other CFB members. One of them, though, was MIA for quite a while. That was Justin. And so, why are you looking at? Give me some stuff to work with.
Justin has missed parts of our trip because of his. I don't even know how to explain it. He just has missed parts of our trip.
Doesn't have a daytimer.
So he hasn't even left Florida yet, and he's driving, and it's about 12 hours away.
The primary driver of the tardiness this year was the hurricane that hit Florida. Ended up making the drive through the southeast, which was great because I'd never been to Alabama or Georgia, and I'd never driven through Florida, so it was fun to get to experience some Chick-fil-A in some different states. So it was great. Really hit the spot for me.
So we go on the tour with Steve Macy, and Justin's not there.
Steve was awesome. They run a first-class athletic department, and that day we got to tour the Liberty Bowl. Really cool facility. We got to see the Players Lounge and kind of the inner workings of the stadium.
They share the stadium with the city, so it's not truly their stadium. But they do have this one area that they call the recruiting room, and it was unreal. He really wanted to take us there, and it was first class.
We went to this place called Central Barbecue. This guy's named Craig, super thick accent, really awesome. He's like the epitome of, the South. And he just caters to us. He gives us the Southern treatment, all right? So we come in, and he's like, hey, my name's Craig. He comes in, and then he sits us down. He's like, y'all want to eat? He starts bringing out these platters of meats and these succulent, juicy meats. So we have like these barbecue with like the char and this outer ring of like crust that just packs the flavor. It was Flavor Town Passport. Craig is like the ultimate owner. He cares about his employees, cares about the recipes, cares about the rub, the barbecue sauce.
So huge shout out to Craig. We had a great time at Central Barbecue. And seeing the facility, it was decked out in Memphis Tigers gear and memorabilia and pictures on the wall. That was pretty cool. And that's one of the hot spots for all the students to check out before a big game. Yeah, check out Central Barbecue. It's unbelievable. We had an awesome host who lives in Memphis named Kelsey Martin, and she took great care of us, and she lived right next to the stadium, so it was awesome.
One of the main things that I was concerned with was making sure that I would actually have a place to stay once I got there. And they're like, yeah, no problem. Door's gonna be unlocked, just come in. There's gonna be a bed open for you, just make yourself at home. We'll see you in the morning. I got to the apartment number that I had been instructed to knock on, called Kyle, and so he let me in, immediately fell back asleep. There was an open air mattress, but no pillows, no blankets.
Justin is literally curled up, like shivering, because it's so cold and he has no blankets. So he does the classic little kid move where he is so cold, and he has his hands and he's shivering. And
the part that was really great about that is I woke up and it was a little clammy in the dining room the next morning because Jeremy had been sweating due to the thermal comforter that he had slept in. Very close to me. Probably was a low point in my life.
We met up with Steve again, and he gave us more tours of the athletic facilities, the basketball complex. The football facility was unbelievable. So I do not know how any recruit wouldn't consider going to Memphis with the facilities that they have and the expansion they're continuing to do, along with their coaches, Coach Norvell, who we got to chat with and was a great guy. I only see great things for the program in the future.
Through Twitter, we also linked up with Jessica Benson, who is a local TV reporter in Memphis. And she was super cool, and we went with her at Gus's Chicken. And a couple of us hadn't had an experience Gus's Chicken before, and that was amazing. If you haven't had it, go to Gus's Chicken because you will want to have more.
One of my favorite parts of these trips is always the food that we get at the tailgates. And this year was no different. In Memphis, got to experience some of their barbecue on Tiger Alley.
Tiger Walk was a really impressive scene. So that's when they essentially have the team buses, they pull in and they walk down this area where there's fountains and grass and all the tailgaters surround them. And so Greg Gaston was the one who hooked us up with that.
And he's like, hey, you guys want to ride the team in this truck? And we were like, absolutely. We're just like waiting for these police to come in because they said once they get onto the campus, they're just gonna jet and we're just like gonna zoom all the way up to the stadium. So what happens is they're like, all right, they're coming. And like everyone's just like freaking out. It's just like chaos. It's like chaos.
The guy who's leading the bus in punches it, and I about literally go like head over heels out of the tailgate. Like Jeremy has to like grab onto me to make sure I don't fall out. And this guy is going like, 50 miles an hour in a parking lot to get the team in.
There was at one point, I think we hit a grandma's hip. Like the people were like diving all over the place. So we get in there, we're zooming through, we're bobbing, we're weaving in and out. We get to the stadium, we jump out, and they do this like majestic Tiger Walk. There's like the band playing and the players are walking through and they walk right by Tom the Third, which is a live freaking tiger. It's like this big freaking tiger just like pacing around in this huge like box.
Then we went into the game, awesome game. Big thanks to the school, the athletic department for everything they hooked us up with. We got to see the game from a lot of different angles, the stands, the field, the press box, and it was a great game versus Temple, and Memphis pulled it out.
So at the end of the game, we always go to the press conference. We like to interview some people. This was a unique time because on the night of this game, when they were playing Temple, Jake Elliott, the kicker, broke the all-time points record for Memphis. It was pretty phenomenal. So when we get into the press conference, we get to go right up to him and we're just chatting with the record holder of Memphis. And we don't take those things lightly.
Some of these trips we try to be real and raw and talk about the good and the bad experiences. One thing about Memphis is I can't think of a single bad thing. I mean, they for being a smaller school, not in one of the Power 5 conferences, they brought it. It was a legit trip. We all said we would go back to Memphis in a heartbeat. And so just a big thanks to everybody involved in the program. It was awesome. Thank you.